In an effort to promote collaboration between the government and the private sector, Governor Maura Healey, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, Democratic Party Supervisor Katherine Clark, Mayor Michelle Wu, and other officials visited the Joint Apprenticeship Training Center, JATC, in Greater Boston for a roundtable discussion. During the meeting, Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo emphasized the importance of government and private sectors at all levels working together to promote the vibrant economic development of Boston and Massachusetts. Governor Healey stated that representatives from local, state, and federal levels need to come together to strengthen cooperation and set a shining example for the entire community. Addressing the urgent need for innovative solutions to address labor force challenges, Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo shared insights she gained from her visits to other states. In every industry and state, employers are facing the common challenge of attracting talent. In response, they are actively seeking creative models to encourage women's participation in the workforce. This issue has resonated widely, prompting exploration of new approaches.
First, I will say, I hear it from employers in every state I go to, in every industry, how they're struggling to find workers. And so they are looking for innovative models to get women into the workforce. So it's a collective issue. Some of the things that people are doing, like we talked about today, using a project labor agreement, that's the gold standard, so then you can negotiate everything into the project labor agreement. On-site child care. Frankly, it's just recognizing that child care is essential to enable workers. It's not a social program. It is essential for our economy. And once people realize, let's just solve the problem, they see a lot of creative solutions. Because if you want to have the most talented, most productive workforce that you can, then you need to tap into the full talent pool, and that includes women. That includes young families with young children. And if you don't tap into that talent, you won't be competitive. What I do as Commerce Secretary is focus on enhancing America's competitiveness. We want to outcompete. And to do that, you need to have the best talent working. So I think what you saw today is a shining example of, you have the mayor here, you have the governor here, you have the federal delegation here. We are all working hand in glove. I mean, Congresswoman Clark's effort and her colleagues to work with the Biden administration to secure the funding for these initiatives, for the jobs, for construction, for child care, then flows through to the governor and the mayor who are on the ground actually implementing these initiatives. So I think what you see today is that it takes government at every level working with the private sector to make a stronger economy on the ground here in Boston and in Massachusetts.
Well, I think talking about those proposed investments are really important because, right now the need for employers to work directly with government to work directly with governors has never been greater, and childcare is a great example of this. So we need investments in early education. We talked about that. We need investments in childcare specifically. We need to be funding these things, which is why I proposed about $500 million towards childcare alone. It's why we're supporting the work of IBEW and other entities out there, including employers who right now are doing innovative things. They get it. They don't work. They don't succeed without a workforce, and they won't have a workforce unless we figure out a way to deal with childcare. I know in Massachusetts there are two things that are making life less affordable for people: the cost of housing, the cost of childcare, and that's why we're really leaning hard into both of these things, appreciative of the efforts, including what the Biden administration is doing as we compete for federal dollars, making sure that we've synced up with employers and businesses and industries that we want to grow here to make sure that childcare is covered as an essential part of that infrastructure.
Yeah, we know that here in Massachusetts and across the country that growing the middle class means lowering costs, better paying jobs, and that financial security that families need. And childcare is a great example. The pandemic really exposed not only the fragility of that system, but how absolutely crucial it is to our economy. And I am so fortunate to have the secretary and the governor who understand how embedded childcare is to the success of families and to our overall economy. And this today is just a great example of how we can make those partnerships across private sector, across government, and local government to really make life better for families and reduce their costs.